All right, in 3 days, it's time for the election, which means in 3 days, it's time to vote for Donald Trump. I have a lot of things to talk about here, and I hope I don't forget anything. But basically, I'm going to tell you why everyone should be voting for Trump, and you're an idiot if you vote for Harris. So that's the short version. Now, here's the long version. I've been watching all these the TV debates and TV interviews the last couple of months and watching what Trump says and watching what Harris does, and it ain't even close. At least you wouldn't think so, but of course, the liberal media is doing their best to lie Harris into office. They want you to think, well, Harris is going to win no matter what I say. It's a lost cause to vote for Trump. So might as well just vote for Harris. Now, people with a brain like me see right through that. So, Trump has been winning all along, and the media is doing their best to lie up the numbers and make it seem close. It's going to be at least a few percent less. Now, there are two kinds of idiots who vote for Harris. First, you have the Harris voters who are voting for Harris because they don't like Trump. And that's their main reason. I don't like him. Things he said about women. He's mean. You don't have to like him for him to do a good job. And so you're an idiot for voting for Harris. Vote for Trump. That's where the vote needs to be. Then you have these people who somehow in their liberal head think Harris is going to do anything right. Flat out stupid. Have you watched and listened to anything she has said the last couple of months? Even when the liberal media is giving her the easy questions that her staff has pre-approved, she's never answered a single question about anything. Now, Trump, he's always been very clear. He will drill for oil. He will give tax breaks to big companies if they bring in their production back to America. He will secure the border. What has Harris ever said that she will do? It always goes off, well, we have a whole bunch of people have asked her, what is the first thing you're going to do on your first day in office? Well, we have a whole bunch of things to do. I can't really narrow down any one thing. Or well, it's Trump's fault we're in this. Oh, well, it's Trump's fault about the border. You've been the border czar for 4 years. You've been in the White House. You said you've been involved with Biden on most of the big decisions. And somehow it's Trump's fault? It wouldn't take very much looking to look at the immigration numbers. How things were before Trump, how things were after Trump. He brought it down very low. And as soon as Biden got installed, not elected, installed into office, he canceled Trump's policies. And what happens to all that immigration? Way back up. And it's been up for years. And that's Trump's fault somehow? All you had to do was leave the border policies Trump made alone, and things would have stayed low. But they don't want that. They want all these illegals to come in and somehow vote in the election to vote Democrat, which they shouldn't even be voting in the first place. Oh, boy. So I'm gonna lose track. There's just so many things wrong here about this Harris. Now, it really doesn't matter what Harris says that she will or will not do, or her opinions on anything, because Harris isn't going to be deciding anything. After Biden totally blew his first debate back in June, all the deep state members, Obama, Clinton, Soros, all the other rich people behind the curtain, they all got together and said, okay, here's the deal. We cannot run anyone besides Harris because Harris's name is on the money, on the campaign donations, on the many, many millions of dollars. So if we run someone else, we have to give back all those millions and hope they get redonated under the name of the other person. Or we can run Harris and get her in. And, in the past elections, people have said, oh, this guy's a puppet, that guy's a puppet. Well, Harris is the ultimate puppet. She has no ideas of her own, and she ain't going to be deciding anything. They had a meeting where Obama, Clinton, Soros, all the other big rich people behind the curtain, they all called Harris into the room. Sit down at the table here. We're going to have a conversation. We have to run you for president. and you'll be in the White House, but you ain't decided anything. You're going to say what we tell you to say. You're going to sign what we tell you to sign. And your opinion doesn't matter. And she said okay to that. And I just have to get her elected/installed. So that's what's actually happening. And it's just been amazing. I've watched the interviews she's given, and when they're bending over backwards to make it easy for her. Would you change anything? Did you make any mistakes? I wouldn't change anything. I'm happy how we did it. Really? This is the best you can do? You don't think you could have improved on anything? Wow. It's amazing. Even when Saturday Night Live I read about articles about it a while back. When Saturday Night Live is making fun of your candidate, you've already lost. Well, what do you think is going to happen in the election, Tim? Well, just on plain old votes, Trump is going to win. The question is, how much cheating and voter fraud are the Democrats going to do to try to put Harris in? Every state that has to say, well, we have to stop counting for tonight and we'll pick it up tomorrow or the next day. Those are going to be the borderline states. Those are the states Trump's going to be winning when they stop counting. And they're going to come back and, hey, guess what? All of a sudden, you wouldn't believe all these votes we found overnight. And now Harris is winning by just a little bit. Not a lot, just enough to win. Just a little bit. What was it? Like Trump? Well, Biden won Pennsylvania by 80,000 votes out of 6+ million? Trump was leading by 700,000 at night. They stopped counting in the morning. Now Biden's up by 5,000? How'd that happen? I would like to think Trump is now too big to rig, but these Democrats, oh boy, they will cheat and commit fraud and do anything they can to get Harris in. They're going to push the limits on this thing, and I'm just kind of dreading that part of it. So, will Trump win? He'll win in a straight-up election. I'm worried about what kind of fraud they're going to pull. Now, all this stuff, look at what they've tried to pull with Trump all year long. Tying him up in court cases, raiding his golf club, putting him in court, keeping him busy in court for months on end. They tried to kill him twice. And he gets more and more popular every time. And they have to bus people into Harris's rallies, and people are packing Madison Square Garden, and they're all piled up outside for Trump. So, how do you think this is going to go? I would love to see Trump win a state that normally wouldn't go to Trump, like Virginia, New York, California. That's probably not going to happen. But even if just one of those changed over, that's quite a change. All you Democrats, do you really believe Harris is going to do anything on her own? Well, I'm going to vote for Harris because she's going to do that. And she's not going to do anything. Oh, who is in right now? Oh, jeez. Yeah, whatever. So anyhow, you see my sign over here? I wanted a blue sign, but the place that had signs didn't have any blue signs, so I had to get that one. So I put up here special for this show. And that's just one little thing, all the liberals will say, oh, well, Trump's going to give tax breaks to big rich people. Yeah, you know who the big rich people are? The ones who own the companies who employ the blue-collar workers like you. And Trump has said he'll give tax breaks to the companies who bring their production from overseas back to America. Don't you think that's a good idea? Trump has said, well, the first thing to get the prices down is to get the price of oil down, because that affects transport for everything, and it just goes from there. These are very clear, simple ideas, and you liberals, oh, no, Trump's just giving money to his corporate buddies and stuff. Let me remind you, Trump doesn't have to do any of this. And he's doing it, well, I don't want to say entirely just, for the country, but he could be hanging out in the golf course, doing whatever he wants to do. Nobody would be giving him a hard time about court cases or anything if he wasn't running for president. So, this whole thing is just going here. And I'm heading into election day, about to become a 3-time Trump voter. And looking forward to that election night to see how it's all going to go. Will Trump win? Like I said before, yeah, Trump will get the votes. It would be nice if Trump also had the popular vote, because the Democrats love to cry about that. Well, he didn't get the popular vote. Yeah, well, so what? The Electoral College is how they decided. So, yeah, whatever. So you watch the numbers. I did a lot of research after Biden got installed, how voting numbers would go down for Trump and up for Biden, and it was caught on video on TV, and all these late night found ballots and things like that. And recounting and stopping counting. You know what happens when they stop counting for the night? They see, okay, Trump's winning by this much. We need this many found votes for the other person. And whenever they find votes, it's always like 90% Democrat votes. Isn't that a little bit of a coincidence, don't you think? The whole country's 50-50, but the found votes are like 90%. Something a little bit suspicious there. Let me think for a moment. Okay, what have I covered? Yeah, vote for Trump. If you're one of these wishy-washy idiot libertarians who thinks, well, I don't support Trump or Harris, I'm going to vote for the third-party candidate, otherwise known as being an idiot and throwing your vote away to someone who has no chance of winning. Stop being stupid, vote for Trump. If you're thinking about voting for Harris for any reason, you're an idiot. Vote for Trump. If you're voting for Trump, good. Vote for Trump. Everything has been made so clear for so long. Now, I can understand if the polls were like 60-40, but they always claim they're so tight and they're so even. And of course, the liberal media is lying it up to make the numbers seem closer. But even so, the part they're not lying on, all these people are saying they'll vote for Harris. Why? Now, women will say, I want to vote for a woman candidate. Well, again, you're an idiot. We ain't got time to screw around here. Voting for a woman who isn't going to be deciding anything. She's going to sit in a chair, give a speech, and sign papers, and that's all she's going to do. The people behind her, Obama's going to be in his 4th term, and he's going to be telling her what to write and sign and say. You people. Do I have to tell everybody what they're doing wrong? Apparently. Because I've just been watching this whole election cycle, watching the polls on many different channels, and seeing, Trump is ahead, not by a huge amount, but he's definitely ahead. Yeah, just enough for them to cheat the vote there and screw things up. And, well, if for some reason Trump isn't the winner, well, I hope you people are happy, because this is what you voted for, but what you think you voted for isn't what you actually got. Have you been happy the last 4 years? Are things better for you? If not, vote for Trump. I'll tell you what, if Trump isn't the winner, I'm going to be, whatever money I make, it's going to be, not in the banking system as much, and put off to the side there and kept in cash and things like that. And so, boy, I'm looking forward to the election, but I'm dreading how much the Democrats are going to try to cheat. So, all right, I'm not going to make this video too long here. It's already, what is it there, 13 minutes and a half? Okay, something like that. Well, what can I say that I haven't said before? Whoever you're going to vote for Trump. It's a waste of time in your vote to vote for anyone but Trump. He made clear progress before. Things went up under Trump. And then with Biden, things went down. And now with Trump, things go right back up again. And you'll see it, the big changes, once Trump has his next term in. And saying, oh, okay, what changed? The person in the White House changed. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, he's not still affected by the people behind the curtain in some way, but things are going to be clearly different than they are right now. Harris and our team are going to end up having us in World War III, probably. Trump will keep us out of the wars at least a lot more than Harris and their team ever would. So, go to the polls on Election Day and vote for Trump. All you libertarians and wishy-washy people, vote for Trump. Oh, and here's one more thing. I wanted to mention this always annoys me every election, not even just the presidential elections, every election. On the last day or two, like the last 36 or 48 hours of the election time before election day, it's always in the news that candidates are doing a last minute blitz. They are rushing around to 7 states to give 7 speeches in a day and a half or so in an attempt to change people's minds at the last minute. Why? If you've been watching the things all these months and you still can't make up your mind to vote for Trump, how are they going to change your mind in the last day? Do they really think that affects anyone? There's enough idiots out there that it probably does. It's been 3 months. I'm just really not sure yet. I tried flipping a coin. I couldn't make up my mind. I landed on the edge. You know, if you're one of those people, go vote for Trump. Do us all a favor. If you are insisting on voting for Harris, stay home. Because you hate the country. You want the United States to be like North Korea. You want socialism, communism, all that kind of stuff. You're not the kind of person we want making decisions for the country. Yeah, I know the whole election thing is, it's a show and it's not really everything. And there's all the people behind the scenes making the real decisions. Yeah, I know. That's probably how it is, even with Trump in the White House to an extent. But, you got to try. You got to do what you can do. So, yeah, this whole last minute election thing where they're rushing around the last day or so, making more speeches, I'd like to see one of them not do that. If I haven't changed your mind by now, what's one more speech and one more city going to do? Well, anyhow, I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but the bottom line here is if you vote for Harris, you're an idiot. If you vote for Trump, okay, good. So go to the polls on election day. I don't even like this whole early voting thing. That's stupid. You're giving the Democrats more advance notice of where they need to cheat the vote to commit more election fraud to get more votes for Harris ready by giving them a heads up advance notice. Wait until election day, then go vote for Trump. I'll never early vote. I'll only vote on election day. That's how I am. All right, well, that's all for this video. It's already, what is it here, 17 and a half minutes. Wow. So go to the polls on election day and vote for Trump. Oh, yeah. One more thing. Yeah. Aside from voting for the president, vote Republican for every House candidate. Vote Republican for every Senate candidate, because it'll be a lot easier for Trump to get things done if he has a Republican House and Senate. If you have Democrat House and or Democrat Senate, they're going to be fighting them every step of the way, impeding progress and getting things not done. So vote Republican for everyone. We need a Republican House, Republican Senate, Republican president. So go out there and do it. We'll see how the whole election goes here.